Yankees split the four-game set with the Minnesota Twins at Yankee Stadium. And there was some good and some bad. A lot of bad early in the series, turned into good later in the series, but also some injury news as well. And this one isn't really all that surprising. Giancarlo Stanton hits the IL with a hamstring pull. And, don't expect to see him back anytime soon. It happens all the time with him. And he was off to a good start. He was in the groove. And here, that's the other thing, is when he comes back, it takes him a while to get going. He's a very streaky player. So it's just unfortunate. And look, everyone thought that it was a home run. This was the Saturday, the third game of the series on Saturday. Everyone thought that it was a home run. And Stanton kind of was watching it, and then it turned out that it wasn't a home run, and then he kind of busted it the second. If he's kind of just going at the same pace the whole way, he's completely fine there. So that's another just unfortunate side of it. Don't want to get on him for that too much, but again, Stanton will be on the shelf, and so you don't love that. But can't say I'm surprised, as that is something that's going to happen every single season. And I don't think he's going to be back anytime soon. This series started out really bad. I think the Yankees could have definitely won this 3 out of 4. I mean, the first game was an absolute embarrassment, but they were still able to split the series. So in terms of series, technically the winning streak ends, but they're still undefeated. They have not lost a series. So that's good. It could have been worse, but definitely could have been better. Game 2, Clay Holmes is really who I'm thinking about here as far as fucking this up. Is Game 2 that should have been a win, but look, Gerrit Cole and Domingo Germán were brilliant. I mean, Gerrit Cole, complete game shutout in the last game of the series. It's early. It's only been a few weeks, but man, Gerrit Cole is a man on a mission. He has an ERA below 1. He's been amazing. And Domingo Germán with an amazing start. And there was some controversy there where they were checking him for substances. It really was a nothing burger. All in all, I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised if maybe he was, but that's just me. But honestly, after they had the whole, situation, he came out back and still looked amazing. So clearly, whatever it was nothing. But yeah, Gerrit Cole and Domingo Germán deserve a lot of credit for what they did, and they are the main reasons why they, ultimately tied the series. Let's jump right in. And Game 1 was bad. They gave up 9 runs in the first inning, and the Johnny Brito experience, I don't know. On the one hand, Luis Severino and Carlos Rodon don't seem particularly close, but Johnny Brito, was certainly looking like, all right, like this could be a guy that maybe sticks in the rotation. Now we don't know, because it was that bad. He had nothing. He didn't even finish the inning. He gave up 7 runs in 2/3 of an inning. And so it's not what you want. DJ LeMahieu missed the first 2 games of the series. He came back in Game 3 and looked really good in Game 4. He was the offensive catalyst in Game 4. But DJ was out for the first couple of games in the series. We saw a mix of everyone. You saw Samuel Calhoun, first 3 games, Franchi Cordero. And eventually Anthony Volpe finds his way into the leadoff spot. And we'll talk about that. I think maybe he'll be there to stay with Stanton out and LeMahieu maybe more in the middle of the lineup. That might be the mix you're looking for right now. But as far as Brito goes, the first inning was an absolute nightmare. And that's going to be what we're talking about mostly here. There's not a whole lot else to say. And Isaiah Kiner-Falefa actually pitched a scoreless 9th inning. But in the first, Julian single, Correa single, Buxton walk, Larnach sac fly, Miranda 2-run double, Solano RBI double, Nick Gordon ground out, Christian Vasquez RBI double, and then to top it off, Michael A. Taylor with a 2-run homer. So 7-0, and then Colton Brewer comes on. And Colton Brewer, unfortunately, when stuff like this happens, you are kind of sacrificed. Where Colton Brewer got designated for assignment after the game. Now, it's not as if he pitched all that well here, but he really just 8 innings. So Colton Brewer ends up going 3 1/3 innings, throws 52 pitches, and gets DFA'd. We'll see. Maybe he ends up making it through and back into AAA. Like, we'll see. But he's off the 40-man roster. But Brewer, made things worse. I mean, the game was already over, but Julian homers and then Correa homers. So first 2 batters Brewer faces hit home runs off him. Eventually the inning's over, but just a nightmare. 9 runs against the Minnesota Twin team that has been dominated by the New York Yankees for the last, 2 decades at least. And, Minnesota definitely showing that maybe things are going to be different. So it's 9-0. Joe Ryan, it was easy for Joe Ryan, the Twins starter. From there, Michael A. Taylor hits another homer. He hits it in the third inning. It's a 2-run shot, makes it 11-0. This is off of Brewer as well. Brewer pitches through the fourth. So again, Brewer, just eating innings at this point. Anthony Rizzo was the Yankee offense. He hits the first of his 2 homers in this game. It's both were solo shots. It's a solo shot for Rizzo off for Ryan in the fourth. Then Ian Hamilton comes on, and Hamilton does a nice job. Pitches a scoreless fifth, pitches a scoreless seventh, pitches a fifth, sixth, and seventh scoreless for Ian Hamilton. So good job by him. Again, in a mop-up situation. Jimmy Cordero pitches the 8th inning for the Yanks. And then in the 9th, it's Isaiah Connor Falefa. It doesn't give up a run. So it was pretty funny to see that. And then with 2 outs in the 9th, Anthony Rizzo homers again. But it didn't matter. The Yankees lose at 11-2. A really, you feel bad for the fans that went to this game. Just a bad performance by the Yanks. Let's jump to game 2. Game 2 is definitely, for me, the most frustrating game. This was a winnable game. But the Yankee offense falls short, and Clay Holmes really falters when they really needed him. And he pitched in the 8th inning, which I like the idea that Clay Holmes should not be the automatic closer. And by him coming in the 8th inning here showed me that he isn't, although it was discouraging in game 4 to see Clay Holmes warming up in the 9th if Garrett Cole got into trouble. To me, Wandy Peralta has got to be the one in that situation all the time. Clay Holmes, to come in with runners on, is like not what you want to do when he is someone that is wild. To me, Wandy is the mid-inning guy, but I digress. We go to the second game, and Anthony Volpe's leading off. And not only does Anthony Volpe lead off, he hits his first home run in the majors, leading off. So it's a leadoff shot for Anthony Volpe, and I think first pitch of the next at-bat, Aaron Judge homers. So what started out great, Volpe, his first homer in the bigs, Aaron Judge, back-to-back. Yankees offense really dried up from there, and Nestor Cortez pitched well. Nestor deserved a better fate. We'll talk about Nestor's outing. So again, Yankees offense kind of fizzles, and the pitching matchup was to their favor. It was against Louis Varland making his 2023 debut. He pitched a bit in 2022 for the Twins, but Cortez was just putting up zeros for a while here, and the Yankees offense really wasn't getting even many opportunities as this game is moving forward here. So let's jump to the 6th. Carlos Correa, the Yankee killer, Carlos Correa, who has not done much this season, does a lot in this game. He homers off of Nestor to make it 2-1, but Giancarlo Stanton answers that with a homer himself, makes it 3-1. That's a huge home run for Stanton, but then Nestor gives up another one. And so the one gripe I have with Cortez, who again, he goes 7 innings, 2 runs, that was very worthy of a win, is when Stanton gives you that home run, you can't then give up a home run to Kyle Garlick in the 7th, and that's what happened. So Nestor, who, is just pure consistency as far as I'm concerned, and, wish he hadn't given up that homer. It's a 1-run game. We go to the 8th, and Clay Holmes comes on, and Clay Holmes, for me, is the guy I trust the least out of your top bullpen pieces. Currently, it is Wandy, it is Clay Holmes, it is Michael King, and it is Ron Marinaccio. Those are the 4. And out of the 4 of them, I gotta say, me personally, I trust Clay Holmes the least. So you get a Michael A. Taylor single, a Byron Buxton walk, and that's classic Clay Holmes with the walks, and then Carlos Correa with the 2-run double to give the Twins the lead. That stings. So we jump to the bottom of the 8th, and Jorge Lopez, the former Royal, comes on, gives up a 2-out single to Giancarlo Stanton, but then he strikes out Gleyber Torres to end the inning. In the 9th, Wandy Peralta pitches a scoreless 9th inning to keep it a 1-run deficit, and then Johan Duran comes in. You get a leadoff single by Franchi Cordero, but then a double play ground ball by Oswaldo Cabrera, and then Willie Calhoun pinch hits for Jose Trevino and pops out to end the game. So this one sucked. That's the game they should have won. That's the game that cost them winning the series, but they were able to salvage it and split the series. And in big part, that was thanks to Domingo Germán, who was coming off of an absolutely terrible outing at Cleveland. 5 walks, no strikeouts, didn't get out of the, I think maybe, 3+ innings for Germán? But Domingo in this one, 6 in the 3rd, 3 hit, 1 earned run, no walks, 11 strikeouts. And both Germán and Cole were throwing with perfect, in Germán's case, a perfect game through, 5 1/3 or 5 2/3. And then Cole also, had a no-hitter at around the same point, more than midway through the game. But for Germán, this was much needed. And again, there was the substance check, but it all checked out. Rocco Baldelli did get thrown out of the game, and it's something to consider. But again, honestly, this really was a whole lot to do with nothing. But DJ LeMahieu comes back in there, and in this game, LeMahieu led off, and Volpe bats ninth. I think that's because Stanton was still in there. With Stanton out, I think what they feel like, all right, let's beef up the middle a little bit with DJ and have Volpe lead off. And I think that kind of makes sense. So here, it's Germán for the Yanks. For the Twins, it would be Tyler Mahle. And, for the Yankees, getting on the board first, it happened in the second inning. And, again, at this point, Germán had already cruised through 2 innings. He struck out the side in the first. But in the second, Kyle Higashioka hits a 2-run homer. And for Higgy, I like what I'm seeing so far. And I think that you might see Trevino-Higgy be more of a 50-50 split. I've alluded to this, but I think it might be more 50-50, which I think makes sense. And I'm a big Trevino fan. I really am, honestly. Moving away from Gary Sanchez and moving to this platoon, it's all right. Defensively, both catchers are solid. At the plate, Trevino can get you some big hits. Higgy's got some pop. He can hit you some home runs. That's what he does here. And it's an opposite field homer for Higashioka, which you don't always see. And really this is unearned runs, but it's Mahle's fault as good hustle by Franchy Cordero reaching on an error earlier in the inning. So Germán again continues to cruise. And then Anthony Rizzo gets back on the home run act. Another solo shot for Rizzo, his 4th homer of the year, gives the Yanks a 3-0 lead. Rocco Baldelli gets thrown out at the start of the 4th. It doesn't faze Germán. He continues to go. The strikeouts were just there for him. An amazing, amazing outing for him. Anthony Volpe. More steals for Anthony Volpe these last couple of games in this series. And we hadn't really seen it since the San Francisco Giants series, but Volpe leadoff walk. He steals second. And then DJ LeMahieu. So I kind of forgot about this as well. LeMahieu gets an RBI single in this game. So DJ was actually doing a nice job in the last couple of games. So DJ gives the Yanks a 4-0 lead. Yankees had a chance to score more. They don't. And I'm not going to make a big deal about that because the Yankees won this game. But Germán ends up being taken out in the 7th after a Trevor Larnach double. He was starting to lose it a bit. And then Michael King got off to a shaky start. But, hey, he's been great since then. And he actually finishes this game. He goes 2 2/3 to finish out the game. And I guess that's how he's going to be used as a multi-inning type of guy. He comes in, though, and he does give up the Germán base runner as Jose Miranda gets an RBI double to knock Larnach in. Then there was a single by Solano. Things got a little bit dicey, but then King gets Kepler, who was the tying run to ground out to double play. Then the Twins get into trouble in the 7th, and the big blow was a Giancarlo Stanton 2-run double, the aforementioned double that looked like it might have been a home run. It wasn't. And then Stanton ends up pulling up lame and pulls his hamstring, and he will be out for a while now. So that's a double you kind of wish didn't happen, but it does, and that's what it is. And so it's 6-1 Yanks. And like I said, King finishes it out, does a really nice job, and I'm encouraged by what I'm seeing from him. So a combination of Germán and King give up 1 run, and the Yankees win that game. Let's head to the last game of the series, and that was today, and that was Gerrit Cole. Gerrit Cole was just simply brilliant, and his ERA in the season is now .95, and even that is honestly misleading because, right, there was some bad luck there as well. I mean, he's just been so dominant. It's silly to even say this, but look, he would be a Cy Young front runner. It is very early, but he just looks totally confident and in sync. Complete game shutout, 2-hitter, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts for Gerrit Cole. And in this one, like I said, Volpe leading off, LeMahieu batting 5th. Franchy takes a seat and he cooled off. Franchy, who had a really good road trip, cooled off in this Twins series. So you saw Willie Calhoun and Aaron Hicks. I mean, that continues to be a joke. Aaron Hicks batting 9th, struck out all 3 times. The guy is he's got nothing. He's got nothing. I mean, anyone but Aaron Hicks. And I should also mention, as Walt Peraza got called up with the Giancarlo Stanton IL stint. We'll see how long Peraza's up. Keep in mind that Josh Donaldson's probably going to come back soon. I would expect him to return to the Yankees about midweek in the middle of the Angels series. So real quick here, Gerrit Cole pitches great. And just was in complete control. The Yankees get on the board in the third. There was a walk to Trevor Larnach, and that was the only base runner that Cole had for a while. In the third, it was a walk by Judge, then a questionable hit by pitch by Rizzo. Called hit by pitch in the field, reviewed and upheld. It was close, but, it was hit by pitch, so they said. And then Torres strikes out, and then a big 2-out RBI single by DJ LeMahieu. When DJ thinks opposite field, similar to Glaber, it works out. And so DJ makes it 1-0 Yankees. Cole strikes out the side in the fourth. And then in the fifth, with 2 out, the no-hitter ends as Donovan Solano singles. Then Anthony Volpe singles, infield single to start the fifth, and then gets a stolen base. He's got 7 steals on the season. Just crazy how he just gets these steals in bunches. He is fun to watch when he gets on base. And a Yankee fan has not seen that for quite some time. So DJ LeMahieu with a wall scraper, literally off the top of the wall for LeMahieu to give the Yankees a 2-0 lead in the 6th inning off of Pablo Lopez. This is a great pitching matchup. Cole versus Pablo Lopez. Lopez, newly a Minnesota Twin, was traded for Luis Arraez, and Pablo Lopez, only made a few mistakes, but it cost him. And LeMahieu homers. Max Kepler was not quite able to get it, and the Yankees take a 2-0 lead. LeMahieu with both RBIs today. And then Cole, the pitch count was pretty good, where, for a while, it looked like maybe in the 7th, okay, he's probably not going to be able to go all 9, but then he ends up being able to do it. Really, just Garrett Cole ends up going complete game shutout. And it's exactly what the Yankees needed. He's delivered. All good things to say about him. This was a dominant performance. So the Yankees split the series. So again, started out bad, started out embarrassing almost, but ends up good in the end with great pitching performances by Germán and Cole, even though Giancarlo Stanton hits the injured list, which is not what you want. That is a problem. So now the Angel-Yankee series, and this is an Angel team that will be coming off of a series at Boston. In fact, the Angels and Twins will be trading places. Minnesota will be going to Boston. The Angels will be coming to Yankee Stadium. But they have a game tomorrow, Patriots Day, Ohtani on the mound at Boston. So the pitching matchups in the Angels series, it'll be a couple of lefties going for the Angels. First off, one of those is Jose Suarez versus Clark Schmidt. Now, Clark Schmidt, mild improvements versus Cleveland, but a lot that he needs to work on. Clark Schmidt, the only reason why I'm, Johnny Brito was so bad that Clark almost and with the Yankee injuries, he's not going anywhere, but you really want to see Schmidt put up an actual good outing and give them length. I mean, Schmidt hasn't gone longer than 4 innings in any of his outings. So that's got to improve. So Suarez versus Schmidt in game 1. Game 2, Johnny Brito is going to look to rebound, and he'll be going up against Griffin Canning, the right-hander for the Angels. And then the last game will be the best pitcher matchup of the series as a couple of lefties. Patrick Sandoval for the Angels and Nestor Cortez for the Yankees. So that one will be, kind of like this Twin Yankee series where the last one is the best one on paper as far as the probable starters. But that's a series where, look, you want to continue this undefeated series streak going. This is not a great Angel team. I know they have Ohtani. I know they have Trout, but it's a very winnable series. And the only thing that worries you is, of course, that you have Clark Schmidt and Johnny Brito going. So the hope there is maybe you split those first 2, and then hopefully Nestor can kind of bring it home with a series win against the Angels. But again, the Minnesota Twins win the first 2 games of the series, but the Yankees fight back and win the next 2. It is a split between the Twins and the Yankees, and also Giancarlo Stanton is now on the injured list.